Hi, girls. Hi, gals. Can't even get my words out this week. Look at that, straight out in a strain. My mouth's gone absolutely haywire. There's a fucking brilliant start for this week, ladies and gents. How we doing? You all right? Welcome back, finally. As you can see, I'm that excited. I can't even get my words out. No, it's been mental. Before we get into that, though, Andrew's back, and it's great to have Andrew back because he is now going to be the permanent man beside me every single week, being strong, going through these chats, doing it all, because it's come to a point where I've said, me and Andrew have talked about this for a while, that we want to sort of collaborate this and do this together because we've both got a passion for it, as well as a lot of other things. And we said, look, right, let's get it back out there. Let's get going. And we're going to talk about subjects every week. There's going to be things that throw up for us. If you want to come on and, or give us basically a subject, to go at, tell us, and we'll get into it, But yeah, it's a pleasure to be back, and it's a pleasure to have Andrew with us. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
pleasure's all mine.
Good. How have you been? What's been going on?
I've been well. The last time I think I physically saw you was when you were in my house.
Yes.
Which is that's exactly how that sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously did that podcast together on the couch, live, unfiltered in that regard. It was really, really good, which kind of flows quite nicely into you kindly introducing me to this little kind of gig here as co-host to sort of roll with the podcast. It's been apart from before getting into how I've been, I think touching on just being on a podcast. I said that to you the first time I was on as a guest. Like such a pleasure. Like without completely licking your arse, but it was like such a pleasure to be on a podcast, speaking about something, doing like just doing the podcast thing. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like, opportunity knocks sometimes, isn't it? And it's kind of having that, I think, flowing off of each other quite nicely. Like, whether it's like behind the scenes when we're just shooting the shit about whatever. And then, I think it's just, it's kind of worked quite nicely. Like, it's good to just be doing something now, maybe a bit more permanently, like together as a podcast. Do you know what I mean? So, but no, I've been busy. I've been working away myself. Family life is still as hectic as it always is. The wife's still as busy as she always is. Just being a superhuman. But apart from that, everything is just everything's going okay. To be fair, everything's going. I was going to say fine, but we all know that in the mental health space that everything's fine is is probably an alarm signal. But everything is just tickety boo at the moment. So.
Aye, it's going as good as it needs to be, and it's grand. Is probably the best way to put it over.
Yeah.
And there's no big issues in life at the minute, which is nice to hear. That's what I hope everybody can have at some point. Do you know what I mean? Or if you have that now, well done, if you've got that in your life, absolutely fantastic. I mean, not being funny, I'm sat here, I'm the most positive person there is in the world, and my patience have been very tested in this last 4 to 5 weeks. Massively. Obviously, we said we were going to pause on the podcast for a period of time because of the app. A lot of work was going to go on behind that, which it has. There's been so much gone on behind the scenes that nobody would know, and timescales have just been out this world, not in my hands, and I've just had to just go, okay.
That's the worst. I've said that to you already. I think that's the worst feeling. I think when it's out of your hands and you're like, you're chomping at the bit. Do you know what I mean? Because I know you, and I know how much you want to kind of really get some momentum with this. But when it's just out of your hands, you're just at the beck and call of, of someone else.
I've been at the beck and call of Android and iOS. Now, Android's been an absolute pleasure, I must admit. Yeah, they've been great. They've done everything we've asked, and everything they've asked of us, we've done. Absolutely great. And I can't knock them, and it's now out on Play Store. So if you've got an Android phone or Android device, you can go download the Udify New app, which is absolutely great, and I'm buzzing. And this is just the start of this app. This isn't, all the bells and whistles yet, because there's even more things coming. While we've been not happening over this last sort of 5 weeks. I haven't just been sat with my thumb up my arse. That's absolutely,
You've not? No? You
No,
just been chilling?
no, definitely not. We've been planning, we've been processing, we've been, I've been putting so much into this already, and more functions that are coming. Like, I've just signed off and putting another 15 tools in this app already.
I mean, it's already pretty stacked as well, so
It's
another
pretty,
15 is going to be
yeah,
insane.
it's pretty stacked with about 10 already in there. So we're going to have 25 tools, and these are something you have all your life, and everybody can have.
Yeah.
Which is going to be great, which is what I want. And there's two I've just done, which are for more relationship side, and they're called the Truth Triangle, which I'm
Right.
really, really proud of. I've just built this
Wow.
myself. And I built them all, but I've just built this in this last couple of, literally this last week. And it's 3 points to a story, because your truth, my truth, and then what gets lost in the blurred lines.
Yeah,
And
okay.
basically,
Yeah.
and trying to find out what that third part of that truth is, what you haven't heard, what you don't
I love it.
understand, and what you perceive. So
I do
that's
love
in
it,
there.
yes.
Yeah, it's a wicked tool. And it's great for a relationship side, for arguments and different things. And if you want to re-look at stuff, it's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah.
And then I built one on consistency, which is,
Yeah.
because we all have to have consistency in a relationship. And
It's key, isn't it?
yeah, and there's more to it than that. There's more to it than that. And just before we get to our main point today, I'm just going to say the iOS side of the app isn't out yet. The reasons is because iOS want us to put it through their system so they can charge more money, which I've fought tooth and nail for, and I'm not happy about it, which has caused a lot of issues, which we're still not quite there. We're nearly there, but not quite. Within the next 10 days, I'd like to say that it's going to be out on iOS. So keep an eye out for it to be on iOS within the next 10 days.
Yeah.
I would love to say more, but I'm going to keep my mouth very much zipped and shut at this minute, because it's not there, and I want it there for all iOS users.
Of course, yeah.
I will be a good boy, and I will just say it's coming real soon. But
look, if you've got an Android phone device, you can get this right now, which is incredible. So it's there for the taking for anybody that wants to sort of have it right now. Okay, admittedly, just from the Android side of things, but it's happening. It's just a little bit delayed. It's just coming soon.
I think if we look back at it, we are probably now 5 weeks behind where that should have been.
Yeah.
But these things happen. So, but
it's tech. I mean, I have no kind of nothing to say in that regard as to why that's the case. But I mean, if it was that easy to sort of get an app, build an app, put it out there, then maybe we would all be doing it or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
However, this is what I've said. If it was anything in life was easy, we'd all be doing it. But unfortunately, it depends how bad you want something, and it depends how bad you're willing to go for it. And when I'm the biggest person, and I'll say this, and I've used this as a quote before, if somebody says I can't do something, fucking watch me. Just watch me. Because I will go after it, and I will make sure that it goes. And we're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. But
fantastic. However, super, super positive, regardless of any delays. It's just what a place to be in. Because think about it this way, without delaying things too much about what we're about to kick into. Even think about it this way as to when I was first on your podcast, as it was your podcast back then, because that was near the start of the year. There was just a lot simmering at that point, like nothing had happened. You're talking that was like months ago, and now the position that you'll find yourself in from that side of things to what is already out there, that sort of men in that regard can go and take advantage of. It's just incredible, like in that sense.
It is.
So
I mean,
the only way is up.
I mean, I don't. It's not normal to get an app sort of every idea, everything that you've got, and have it launched within 6 months. It's generally impossible.
Yeah,
that's generally. And when I say, if somebody says to me you can't be done, well, watch me. We're
just an
gonna
exception
push.
to that rule, and that's what's
Yeah.
amazing about it. Do you know what I mean? So,
And it's not been rushed, and it's not, you know, there's a lot of theoretical stuff in behind it. You know, there's a lot of things
yeah,
that I've pushed to make sure that it's right. I've made, and all these different kinds of things. Like I've done it,
yeah,
but you know, it's a little hiccup, but we'll be fine, and we'll get there.
exactly.
But obviously, I'm gonna go to, but yeah, go out and go get it, guys. Honestly, it's going to
Yep.
change your lives. What I want to, we sort of had this conversation the other day, and I said a great topic that I really want to cover is intimacy. Now,
Yep.
I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people sort of regarding this, which brought me on to the two of the relationship tools that I've built sort of in this last week and nearly 2 weeks ago, is obviously the truth triangle and then the consistency tool. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like intimacy. I think a lot of men and potentially even some women get lost off in the case of it. You know, when we all have a brand new relationship, it's all great, it's all fantastic, it's this, that, it's the other. You know, you do all these little things, you do everything, the dates are great, everything, because there's just that sense of euphoric happiness that sits
That
there.
honeymoon phase, really, that everyone calls it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like a honeymoon phase. And I suppose I've got a question for you, right? And you can, and I'll answer it back, or you can ask me. Sort of, how long for you was that honeymoon period before you sort of, or are you a person that is always in that honeymoon period? Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. I think currently right now, and it's not because I'm under the cosh of things that my wife will be listening to this, etc. And you know my wife very well.
Yeah.
All jokes aside in that regard, like, and all cheesiness aside in that sense, there's a permanent phase of being in a honeymoon period. I feel, for me, in our relationship at the moment, just from that sense of, like, you know, that's a long time. That certainly in my current circumstances, like that, I've been with the same woman, been married and have kids, and that I suppose could, to a degree, like, alter things and change things from, like, when we first, and I remember when we first started, and it was the epitome of a honeymoon phase, like, where it was like, you know, you're inseparable, everything else, but like, but that feeling of that, though, I think, to really properly answer that, I feel is not ever gone away. Like, there's still excitement there, there's still butterflies in the stomach, but there's still a desire and a want to do it.
Is that your Alexa?
Yeah. Someone's at my front door. They're going to have to wait, unfortunately, but this happens when you do when you're doing these podcasts live. But it's still there for sure. Like, for me, 100%. And I cannot speak for every other men or
No.
every other sort of men in relationships that's out there in that regard, because I would also be the first to admit, from previous relationships I've had, where there only was a honeymoon phase, and then there just wasn't. There was just a period where there was time where you were with that person. And that's with all due respect to any person that I've had a relationship in the past with, in that sense. But it's just different. I feel it's just different just now. But and that's the politest and most political way I could probably answer that in that regard. But yeah, for sure, it's still. I feel that feeling is still there for me, in that regard. Definitely, 100%.
For me, it, like, and I love this because, and I say this when I've done coaching and stuff. It takes 11 seconds, and somebody goes, "What?" I said, "It takes 11 seconds for what?" I said, "To reply. If you are generally interested in that person, if you generally love that person, no matter what it is, it takes 11 seconds. And get your phone. They're amazing pieces of technology these days, and WhatsApp." Voice note. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just busy. I'm going in a call, whatever it is. But as soon as I'm done, I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah.
Probably not even 11 seconds. It's done with.
Yeah.
That creates so much more understanding than it does than just going, "Oh, I've just left it." Because, and this is where I say this, if somebody's having a bad mental day, that then starts to eat in their head and going, "Well, why hasn't he replied? Why hasn't this? Why hasn't that?" And this is, and I've come across this quite a lot recently and before, that people are going, but I don't feel the same connection. I don't have the same things. Like, it's not the same as it was. Why? And I asked this question because, okay, so what's different? What's changed? Well, life's different. I don't know. Let's say, for instance, you've got stepkids or there's kids involved and all the rest of it. Yeah, okay. With kids, it gets busy. But where's the priority? And I say this, you've got to have the priority to make that date night once a month. You've got to then have that, you know, what's the favourite sweets? It doesn't have to be a massive amount, but intimacy isn't just being in the bedroom and getting the clothes off and all the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, to be fair, when we were kicking off talking about the subject of this, that probably was going to be the first thing that I was going to ask. Like, how is it that you, maybe you or me or anybody, defines intimacy? Because, you know, I guess, like, from very plainly, intimacy, I think, could be a little bit more literal than that. So it's like, oh, it's like having sex and it's like having a kiss and things like that as well. But there is a little bit more to it than just the maybe the obvious factors in that sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, okay, we're maybe speaking and targeting a lot of the noise towards men at the moment. But like you said, obviously it takes two to tango in that regard. Like, whether it's two men in a relationship or it's two women or it's that man and that woman as well. But, you know, you have to look at the other side of things, certainly from a male and a female perspective. Like, I don't know if intimacy is defined like radically differently from a female to a male perspective. You know, in that sense, like, but I don't know if that's something to kind of try and throw out there. Is it? I mean, is it different for a man to sort of have challenge intimacy than it would be to a woman? Are they both aligned in that sense? Because maybe that's where things can get lost in translation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, see, for me as well, right? Because when you go back to the honeymoon period, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's the attraction, right? Always there, right? You've got the attraction. Now, after this honeymoon period, this is where relationships break down because sometimes you've had that and you've gone, yeah, I've got that out my system. I've scratched the itch, what I needed to do with that person, right?
Totally.
Now, with that itch, is there more to it? Are you genuinely interested in that person? Is there more to it? Are they on the same wavelength as you? Do they like doing the same things? Are they sort of interested in your interests? Because when you've got somebody that is, I would say, a good 75% of you, we're not always going to be 100% compatible. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But I think if you've got anywhere between that 70, 75, then you know that you've got that time that you're going to be able to communicate together on the same things that you want to do. Whether you love going out for walks in the country, whether it's you love going to the beach, I don't know, whether you love going to the cinema, watching films, you know, like all these other bits. And I think that's a big thing that people misunderstand. And this is where the intimacy side of it drops, because it isn't just like we've said about the bedroom. It's, okay, they've come home. You've made the tea. They've had a bad day. Tell you what, why don't you go have a bath? Why don't you get yourself sorted? I'll do everything my end here. They come down because they could be full of fuck, as I like to call it. And it's kind of like, what do you need for 5 minutes to get yourself out of that headspace? And it's kind of like, just go get yourself changed, go get yourself sorted. Go have 10, come back, tell me about your day. Or you don't have to. It's up to you. And then if not, you just go simple as, come here, give us a cuddle. There you go. And it's kind of like that relief just fucks off.
Yeah. I think, I guess even for me right now, like, even just having that, like, I think the simple connection of, like, whether when Michelle and I, for example, are maybe having a walk or something, it's not that there's a need and a necessity from that male perspective to puff my chest out and to hold her hand and to be like the dominant one and things like that. I just like, I like the feeling of it. Like, it's the feeling of it that I like, rather than, oh, I better do that because then people will know, like, that's my woman. Do you know what I mean? But, and then if it's that, but then like you just said there about like a small example, like, what do you need? Blah, blah, blah. But, and then see the simple embrace of, and this really does sound like it's very, very simple. But the simple embrace of a hug, right, in that regard. I mean, who doesn't like a hug in that regard?
Well,
However,
yeah.
because I think it's such a, from an intimate level and intimacy in general, when you have two people in that relationship, when you have, and a hug that's meaningful, do you know what I mean? Because I think when you embrace and you're a couple of koala bears and you're like, right, then there's that feeling there. You still have that, like, you've got that goosebumps wee bit, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I do agree. I think the allowance of when, you know, if they're sort of passing ships, you know, the man's out at work, just come back. But like you just said, you know, as long as there's still that connection there, and they're like, and they're still talking, because they might have had that honeymoon phase 10 years ago, but then suddenly it's like it's a Thursday, like on like year 11 in the relationship, and it's just like Groundhog Day again, and like before you know it, it's a really sad state of affairs. But and sometimes, more often than not, in these circumstances, that honeymoon period, this is completely just as an example, because it's maybe not for all relationships that are out there, but I certainly can probably guarantee that a lot of couples in those types of relationships potentially may try and find that honeymoon phase. So that's why once a year they might have a weekend where they might have a spark back, and then they'll go right back to their normal lives. And it's so, like, for 362 days of the year, it's not there, but they might have that little weekend. And then it's a little overnight, it's a little lodge, it's whatever. But you see, kind of like you said, you kind of need to find it. You know, let's do a date night. Let's make some time. Let's go a walk. Let's hold a hand. Let's just do something. Do you know what I mean? So
It's the small things that lead into the bigger things. And I say this,
100%.
I say this in the coaching, it's the small steps that lead to the bigger steps, 100%. You know, if we look at intimacy, it's connection, purpose, magnitude of what each of you want. And I
Yep.
say the magnitude is big, because if we look at it from a volcano, something erupts.
Yep.
Now that's either one person for whatever reason. That's why you have divorces. That's why you have disagreements. That's why we have arguments, because with there not being as much intimacy, we're not in line with each other. We don't understand where we're going. We don't understand what the reasons are, why we haven't gone forward as much as we need to. And all it is the tiny little things that have fallen off the bus that we have forgot to pick back up. And it is. And it doesn't have to be a game changer. It doesn't have to be. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to like somebody on the day sometimes, and you're going to have a disagreement. You're going to have it. But,
of course,
you know, I always say, and I've said this when I was married and other things and different stuff, I've always said, I never go to bed on an argument. I can't do it.
No, I can't either. Not just to just completely agree with you, but I'm very much the same. I can't do that.
No, I couldn't do it. And for me, yeah, I might look at. I'll go back to my ex-wife, and you know, I say ex-wife. No, she's not my ex-wife really. She's my wife, but I can't like put it in any other context. Well, I can't.
No, I understand.
But, yeah. But it's like I would always say, we don't go to bed in an argument. She agreed, 1000%. Like it couldn't be done, and it didn't matter. You might not like him on the day, and I might just go, "You're a fucking asshole," or "You're a dickhead," or whatever it is. But I would always say, right, I'll go to bed, like, we're not going to bed angry. So either way, if we hadn't sorted it by the time we went to bed, right, I would always be like, "Are we going to bed?" And it was always yes. And I was like, right, okay. So then I would try and take the piss on the way up the stairs. So I would be the one behind, trying to tickle feet while walking, or like pull legs, or do anything stupid to just take the emphasis off. And you just get like, "You're such an arsehole, like, behave, you're going to wake the kids up." Like, no, I don't want it. Like, I'm not waking the kids up. It's you. What you falling over the stairs for? Oh, you're such a dick. And like, but like, you've got to have that playful banter. If you don't have that as well, like, it doesn't work. And I always say, once you've got that playfulness back, you then look at the situation again differently, and it pulls everything back into where you need to be. And do you know what? It is the little things that matter. And, you know, I used to buy Vicky flowers. I used to buy Prosecco. You know, I used to do all these things, and pretty much every other week or every week, easily, regardless, especially if I was doing the food shop, I would always be the favourites, always bang. Or I would go out on the Saturday, do whatever, come back, I'd have them. Do you know what I mean? And that was always be me. That was that person.
Of course.
And I'm a get soft ass, and loads of blokes will call me, "What a fucking soft cunt you are." But I don't care. I'm a hopeless romantic at times, and I am soft. But it's because it's beautiful, and that's what I'm happy with, and that's what I want. and I would have, the little love heart sweets.
Yeah.
I'd get a packet of them, and then like bed was made and put them under like the pillow. So when getting pajamas and that, do you know what I mean? But like silly shit,
Yeah.
and it's just like, and you would just get that like that cheeky kiss on your cheek. It was like, thank you.
Yeah.
You didn't need the thank you, but it meant more than 1,000 words will ever will.
Of
And it's
course,
just,
yeah.
and you know, and I think sometimes as blokes, even some women, and I'm not gonna sit in here and say some women don't do it, but they do. And these are the things that I want to highlight that, I've had a lot of discussions with people lately, and they're the things that they seem to be missing. And it's
Just the
daft.
small things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't get, and I know life's busy, and I know we get bogged down, and I know we do, but like,
Yeah.
we have to make that time. And I say, and I've said,
Yeah.
we've discussed this many, many times, that there isn't enough time. There isn't. We're running out of it. Every day we're fighting the clock, and
Yeah.
we're on a ticking time scale. We are.
Well, I tell you though, let me give my 2 cents to that as well, as to maybe why that might be lacking, and let's maybe possibly speak to the man that's listening there as well. And I'm not going to speak for every man as to why this is the reason why, but when I've been thinking about this, there's probably some some real key areas that might be defined as like some potential issues as to why that might be lacking in the relationship. Now, probably at the forefront, and it's going to be winning the race, in my opinion, is social media, right? So, because if you think about a couple, right, that man and that woman, and they're sort of like they're grinding out their Groundhog Day on let's take our example couple that I've used already. It's year 11 in the relationship and blah blah blah, and they're still trying to find sparks and whatever, but they find themselves in that Groundhog Day. They're both on the couch, they're both on their phones, and their thumbs just getting used to this Instagram, it's this and that. But the thing is, not even that alone, because they're not even, their phone's not down, they're maybe not in the same room together, maybe watching something, because that's actually a lot, that's a huge difference. They're maybe not speaking and watching something, for example, and putting phones away, because then you kind of feel a little bit more like you're actually doing something. But anyway, it's what you're looking at in social media. I know myself as well. You cannot tell me that anyone can be guilty of this as well, because you're looking at social media, and let's take Instagram for example, and you're like, look at this fucking guy, like doing this, dressed like that, like looking like that, and you're like, and then before you know it, you're like, and then look at this guy, and like, and then you're like, you're just warped into this thing of going, and then before you know it, what, about an episode's passed of something that you were meant to be watching together, or she's left the room or something, and then and you're like, oh, and then you speak into your group chat with your pals, and before you know it, you're completely compounded by, first of all, your device that you're looking at and your social media, but then the thing is, like, following from that, number 2 in that list, apart from social media, is probably, because I think a big one is pornography, right? It's porn.
Oh.
Now, and the thing is like, and look, it could probably be a bit of a taboo subject, but it's one of those things you have to be a bit comfortable to speak about it. And again, when you speak about it from the male perspective in that sense, I mean, it honestly is, see, ever since from when I was growing up into sort of just now as well, like speaking with pals or anybody that I've known and stuff like that, it's like, I think it all kind of boils down to the fact of like, it's just a thing. Oh yeah, but that's what guys do. Now, that's just, so that in itself, right? Because look, if people want to consume it and watch it and do whatever, like there's an industry there for a reason, right? But I honestly think that you're chasing a false reality. See, if you're consuming yourself with that daily basis, twice a day, whatever, then you're just onto a loss, because you're not, I'm sorry, mate, but you're not going to find what you're looking for in your own relationship. It's not going to happen. It's going to numb you even more. Do you know what I mean? But
you're looking at a fantasy. You're looking at a fantasy, and this goes back to the dopamine, and this goes back.
Yeah,
I had
totally.
Dr. Trish Lee, when I did the
right,
podcast
yeah.
with her, and it's that dopamine, and you're looking for something that you can't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that addiction to porn and all the rest of it, and the algorithm. You're on Instagram, you're on TikTok.
Oh God, yeah.
It's gonna find what you're looking at, and it's gonna fucking bombard you before long, and just go bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
You're seeing the perfect life of somebody and going,
Exactly.
oh, well, how do I do that? Which pulls you down.
It's
And in your
comparison,
relation,
isn't it? Yeah.
it is, and your comparison to what you've got, then you feel resentment. Then there comes
Mm-hmm.
up the hurt and going, well, you haven't forced me this. And this person's gone, what are you on about? Like, I've just been here
Mm-hmm.
like my normal self. And it pulls everything
Mm-hmm.
down and it brings things down. And
Mm-hmm.
people go, how? And this is where I say it.
Yeah.
If we look back at 20 years ago, right, we didn't have as much social media.
No.
You look at intimacies. I remember going out in the pubs, right? If
Yeah.
you went on a date and different things, you could see who was on a date, right?
Of
You could
course.
see the restaurants were busy, the pubs were busy,
Yep.
people were out walking, doing all these things,
Mm-hmm.
doing all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, there are still people going out on dates, but
Yeah.
now it's far too easy to go swipe left, swipe right, whatever it is. Don't
But
get me
even
wrong.
so, though, I, 'cause I make these observations as well. Even when I'm out, I'm like, whether it's on holiday or whether it's like that chance moment that we might find ourselves, like the wife and I,
Uh-huh.
maybe we are like in a restaurant, however. But I'm like, I'm looking around, I'm like, clearly these are all couples, but I'm like, why the fuck are you on your phone in a restaurant? Like, can you not like, and I am not, by the way, I'm not saying that like as this, like on a pedestal because I'm like the fucking champion of like being the best. I'm just, but
Yeah,
you
I get
must
you.
understand where I'm coming from there. I'm like,
Yeah, 100%.
yous are both out there. Like, I don't know what your story is, but what? I mean, okay, I get the fact, like, if you take a couple of snaps of your food, look, I'm all for it. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a bit of an
Of
Instagram
course.
snap. Okay, brilliant,
Yeah.
right? But don't like, I was like, it's honestly, it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you out? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. But, and I'm not saying that just to kind of get brownie points or whatever. I genuinely don't get it. Like, because,
You
you know,
they're not
it's,
you're not present, and I get it, and I've
nah,
and I
that's it.
say this, you've got to be present, you've got to be there because
Mm-hmm.
you're missing the piece of
Totally.
that conversation. You're not if you're like, you know, yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hang on, whoa,
exactly.
I'm not concentrating on you. No, I'm not concentrating on the situation in hand. Then that person's pissed off. Then you've left the
Yeah,
restaurant and they're gone, well, what's up with you? Well, why are we on your fucking phone? Like,
I know.
and
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
took time, care, attention. She's got dressed, she's got ready to go out, or he has, whichever way you're looking from, whatever angle we're looking at.
Yeah.
It's that time. You can't buy the fucker back. You
You
need to
can't,
be
no.
there. You need to be fucking present, and you need to enjoy it because
Yeah.
fuck me, like, and I'll say this, like for me, right, and this is people go, okay, you're just talking shit. I'm fucking not because I
Mm.
miss them things.
Yeah.
That's me holding my hand up. Like I do. I generally do. I probably miss it more now than I ever have
Yeah.
done from past. Yes, it's been 3 years now since Vicky
Yeah.
went, yeah? And it's been a long time. And I'm still looking and going, well, I know what I had before.
Yeah.
I know who I am now, and I
Mhm.
know what I would like in the future. But
Of
finding that
course.
is very difficult because that's the kind of thing where I speak about the intimacy. I know what it takes to be married. I know what it takes
Yeah.
to have kids. I know what it takes to put the hard work in to get the effort back out on that same person. But I
Yeah.
also want that same person to do the same for me. And I
Of
don't think
course.
that's a big ask to have.
Of
And
course it's not.
I think if you're in that relationship, surely that's the fucking bare minimum that you should be present, that you should do the little
Yeah.
things because then the intimacy's there. If you're watching Netflix on
Yeah.
the couch and the kids are in bed and you've got all your dishes done, or you've come out of that
Yeah.
honeymoon period, you've now bought a house together and you're there, fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah.
get all your shit and jobs done. Share your jobs. Get the stuff
Totally.
done.
Yeah.
You've got time for each other. Like, that's the fucking best bit. And,
Yeah.
and I say this to people, like, look at what you've got before you don't have
Mhm.
it anymore. Because when you don't have it, you will
Yeah.
always want it. And that's the same thing. You'll always want what you
Yeah.
can't have. And
That's true.
look, and there's things in life where you go, I really want that, and I really want
Uh-huh.
you, and I can't have you. And you go, okay, there's reasons, there's circumstances behind it. You go, right, fair enough. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't change that. But at the same time, you go, I know you're perfect. I know you're
Yeah.
great, and I want to be with you. And as long as
Yeah.
you're both on that same wavelength and you go, right, okay, what's the work going to take? What are we planning this weekend? What can I do for you? How does
Yeah.
that show up? When does it show up? All these
Yeah.
things. I think they're the biggest things. And I suppose trying to get to any bloke that doesn't get that side of it, sit back. Actually start taking the little things in. What did you do once over that you haven't done for a while? Ask yourself that
Yeah.
question. And a woman. And all it
Yeah.
is, I'm not telling you what you have to do, but I would just
Yeah.
have a look at what you've done.
Yeah,
And
because I think you don't want to get to that stage where there's that kind of like that ever-aging cliche like from a relationship where um it- maybe flowers are there for a birthday or Valentine's Day or whatever, and then any other time that flowers are given, it's like, oh, what have you done? You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
What have you
Yeah,
done?
yeah. What have you done?
I,
Why are you bringing
it's
me
like
flowers? Why are you giving
I
me
know,
chocolates? What's that all
and
about?
I know, and it's just it's God, such an interesting subject in that sense because um, it's I don't really feel that we're sitting here speaking about this to trying to speak to that man that may be struggling with it to try and tell him what to do, like because everybody needs to figure that out themselves. Because in
100%.
that regard and on that subject, I think that just the same with a lot of things. There are many relationships out there that a man might be in with that woman that are very unique. Because, by the way, I think it probably works differently in each of those relationships. There
Hmm.
might be relationships where it's proper from the outside looking in, it looks really stagnant, but they fucking love it. Like they love each other. They love sitting there. She's playing Candy Crush and he's like doing this and that. He's talking to the lad. That, I mean, see if that, look, if it works for you, then brilliant. Like you do you. As long as you've still got that happiness there, you're faithful, you're sticking with each other through thick and thin, then magic, right? But what I hate is the fact of like, if that potentially might work, but then as soon as that, for example, that man leaves the door and he's maybe down at the pub and he's like, then he's trying to chase it. He's just trying to chase it because he doesn't have it back home. Because, I mean, I've probably been there in the past at some point where like I feel like I've had something in a relationship, but then as soon as I'm out or I'm with some friends, I'm like, oh no, I no, I kind of like this. Like I think I don't really like that. Like it's, it's one, I never ever like sort of follow through with that, but I definitely remember feeling that way,
Hmm.
going, maybe I'm not truly happy here, but it's just so different now. Cause I'm like, well, one, I never leave the fucking house, but anyway, however, it's just different. Like, and I don't know if that does come with age. I don't know. Maybe it comes with age, or I think probably it just probably comes with the right person and having that right alignment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it comes with having the right alignment. I think it comes with the right person. And this is
Yeah.
what I go back to, like, the 70, the 75%. Yes, you're going to be that compatible. Yes, 1000%. But you know what's going to happen over time? That can't get my words out. Compatibility is going
Yes.
to get better and better as the years
Yeah.
go by because you're getting there. Like, I've got a good friend, and I'm not going to mention any names, but lost both grandparents within a month of each other, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and Nan was about 93, 94, somewhere
Yeah.
around about that mark. And she just natural, beautiful, just went in asleep. Fabulous. Great
Yep.
life, great age, fantastic. Grandfather was 95. He just went, okay, she's gone. That's me. I'm done. What? Done. Out. Sold. That's him. Finished with. He said,
Yeah.
I've had enough now. That to me is one of the
Mm.
most fucking beautiful things I've ever fucking heard in my entire life
It's
because
a yeah. It's a perfect ending, isn't it? Yeah.
he didn't give up on life.
No.
He went because he wanted to be with her, because he'd
Yeah.
spent all that time, whether that was 60, 70 years. And I just think, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
like
special. That.
it's fucking unreal. And I would like to think that I could have somebody within the next few years that I can go spend the next
Yeah.
50 years of my life with, or
Of course.
whatever that is, because that there is something fucking amazing to behold. And I hope a lot of people can take something away from that, because back
Yeah.
whenever and this is how it goes in my head, not from what was said to me, but I would imagine that they've had this little pact where they've sat there, right, and
Yeah.
said, they've talked about the future, they've talked about not being here any longer. Whoever goes first, make sure that that other one gets to the destination where they need to
Yeah.
go. 100%.
Yeah.
And then they've gone, I won't be far behind you. And I
Yeah.
guarantee them fucking words will have come out and gone, I'll see you real soon, no matter what.
Yeah.
And they're waiting for them. However your religion, however you think, however you feel, whatever you believe in, whatever you don't believe in. For me,
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not getting into that subject because that's just fucking nuts. But
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the most beautiful, charismatic, caring situations that I've probably ever come across, and I've gone, wow. If that wasn't intimacy, if that wasn't true love, that wasn't
Well, there you go.
everything all in one. And somebody says to me, it doesn't exist. It does.
It does. No, it does. It does. It does.
Because I guarantee that took bloody hard work. There'll have been many ups and downs, and there'll have been a lot of other things. Don't get me wrong. Yes, they were a different generation, but at the same time, they did it. And you know what? I would have loved to have had a conversation and said, how have you managed all this time? What was the things that kept it going? And it's funny, I've spoke to my nan recently, and she's 83 now. And it's kind of like, we talk about my granddad, he's not here, bless him. And we talk about the little things that he used to do. And it was as soon as he come in, he used to go, all right, love, I'm back. Like shout, or I'd like leave her a little note if he was heading out early at the bookies or doing whatever, he's going to the paper shop. Even go to the paper shop, just left her a little note. Like nothing. She said the amount of notes I used to get every day, little scraps of paper just left everywhere. But like, but it's them little things. And like, I suppose you can do intimacy in any shape or form that you really want. It just depends how you look at it. And I just thought, do you know what a story? And I was like, that blew my mind the other week. And I just thought,
it's beautiful that it really is. It's beautiful. And like, because I think, to all intents and purposes, that is a as sad and horrible as that is to lose people in that regard, but that is a perfect ending, really, for two people that were just too
unreal,
two fish in a bowl. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they were like they swam until the end. Do you know what I mean? So, but no, it's gorgeous that, and it does make me think, and my mum and dad are probably actually, and I'm very thankful for that. They're probably actually very of a similar ilk in that regard. Like, I think one really couldn't do it without the other. Do you know what I mean? And even in a really daft way. And I say this to Michelle a lot. And again, I'm stressing this point. Like, I'm not saying these things because I am required to, or as before. I remember in the first podcast, because I've got a gun to my head. Do you know what I mean? I swear to God, the position I find myself in, that I think I've used I've used the term or the phrase to Michelle before. Like, I can't function without you. Right.
Yeah.
Now, and I get, look, it sounds cheesy, it sounds whatever. But I swear on my daughter's life, I mean every single thing I say there, because, and that is just where she might be out for a day, or she may have had an overnight. So, but I'm dazed. I'm a little bit dazed, if I'm being honest. When Michelle isn't here, I'm just a little bit dazed. Like, I'll do things that I'm required to do and I'm needed to do, but I'm like, I'm not in the room. Like, I'm not at all. Like, and it's like, it's just that's just a personal thing for me. And that is just because of the bond that I have with my person at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Because we are like, it's, I'd like to think we're a couple of fish in a bowl as well. Do you know what I mean? And I'd love to think that we're going to prolong that, and that's going to be projected until one of us stops swimming. Do you know what I mean? This,
it's your yin and your yang. You've got to have two sides to every piece, and we all can't get on. It's
totally. Exactly.
There's points, there's different things that piss us off, and we get upset by and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I look at it and go, there's all the mystery, the beautiful, and the wonder all inside of it, and it's what you came here for. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It is that. It's the mystery. It's the wonder. It's what we came here for. And people forget it. And, people go, it's a bit of like, you're talking about softness, and like, no. You've just got to have your mind set. And I tell you now, if you've got that person, like you said there, right, that's beside you, that makes you feel complete, that makes you that person, that makes your burdens less, that makes your whatever it is, that helps up here. That helps your mental health regardless. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And I think you can have intimacy with friends as well. And I'll clarify that, because I'm not saying you have to hold hands and all the rest of it, but the intimacy that you have in a friendship, a deep, meaningful friendship, is different. That is somebody that gets you, that you can have that conversation with, that you feel that that you don't have a conversation with your partner, because there will be some times that we all go have a conversation with a friend because we want to not vet it, but you want to potentially just let it out without you even realising it.
You're soundboarding it, really, aren't you? You are, definitely. Yeah.
And you're not slagging them off, but I think, you can have an intimate conversation with a friend that reflects that. And I think that's a beautiful thing to have as well, because people will go,
Of course.
you know, I've got a lot of female friends and I'm really fucking fortunate and I'm really lucky for that. And I've got a lot of male friends, which I'm great. So for me, I can go sound off in two different areas of my life.
2 different rooms. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I love what I get back, because then the women will come and do the soundboard back at me, which is great because they want the male side perspective. And if I look at their relationships from the outside in, they're fucking amazing, because they've got a male friend that's not emotionally, sexually involved with them. Yes, they're emotionally involved with them and on a friend's side and would help them out and do anything. And I think that's the beauty, because they can get to see it from both sides of the cloth. So they've got the female side and they've got the male side. And like I said, I'm bloody lucky that I've got both. And I love that I have both, because
that's amazing.
It gives me a massive sense of clarity sometimes, because if I go, am I being a dick? And they're like, no. But then they'll look at me and go, you're a bit tired at the minute. Like, I am. And they're like, why? And I'm like, well, it's all right. They're like, no, stop being a dick. Come on, talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And it's just great to have that. And, you know, I hope people can go away today and listen to this and just go, fucking hell, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, there's little points in here, even if there's just a minute that sticks with you, a certain phrase, a certain word, just something rather than nothing.
Of course. Because I think, as I said at the beginning, you know, intimacy is probably going to mean different things to different people in that regard. Now, obviously, we've maybe ticked off a few things that what it might kind of fall under. But yeah, you're right. I think from a man that might be listening, that maybe kind of like pricks his ears up a wee bit because he's maybe heard something about like, well, I kind of feel like I'm on like year 12 of Groundhog Day at the moment, or like that. And it's look, and again, to stress a point, like I'll probably, as time goes on these podcasts, I'll try and be like a little bit more unapologetic, but I feel the need to just kind of strengthen that point of me, because everybody can do what they want to do, right? They can do what they want to do. It's absolutely their game. It's their bag. But if you feel that you need to change because you've recognised something, because you've just listened to 40 odd minutes of two men speaking about a subject of intimacy, then fucking brilliant. Like, go for it. Like, maybe start with something like, you know, and try and look to change that. But it's going to hopefully it gets people thinking about it at least, because it's such a huge and important thing.
There is, if they're thinking about it, and I say this in the coaching, it's the small steps that lead to the bigger ones. If you want to change something up, and you might go and sit and have that conversation with that person tonight and just say, do you know what, I've been shit lately. Like, I have, like, I don't feel. But that other person might go, do you? Like, why? What's brought that on? And they want to understand, and they'll go, okay, fair enough. And if you haven't felt that intimate, or there's been circumstances that have changed, you voice it. Because if you're not voicing anything, you're never going to go forward. You can't, you know, fuck me. We can all live in the pits of despair, and we can all stay like bored. We can stay unhappy. We can stay unfulfilled. But why the fuck would you want to do it? Change is difficult, right? But once we've made the change, fuck me, you'll be happy you've made a change. Now, I'm not saying after 12 years you have to go get fucking divorced. I'm not saying you have to leave that person. But what I'm saying is that, you know, there's going to be a point of view where you go, do you know what? I want to get back to a little bit of oldness. And I think, you know, honest and open, and go, look, for me, we seemed a bit disconnected. Like, should we go do something this weekend? I want to do something a bit more. Like, I don't feel like we do something. Like, what have we done for us lately? Yeah, the kids is busy. I mean, and you say you don't have to do, like, you could just go for a walk. You might not have a lot of money, and I know that, but you might be able to go just past the pub and say, do you know what? We've had a walk. Do you want to stop in here and have a drink? Right, amazing. Or do you want to go to the shop on the way back? We'll grab something and we'll sit in tonight. Like, sit in the garden. We've got the weather. We've got, well, what weather we get at the minute is any fucker's guess. But
who knows?
You fucking still sit there with a fucking brolly. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing, and it's kind of like, if it's raining or snowing or whatever the fuck it's doing, go do it. Just go be a part of it. And I just think, you know, fucking hell, life passes us by at such a fucking speed of knots. And it's like what I've alluded to, the 5 weeks, where's that gone? Like, I've blinked and I've had my head buried in this full screen and everything for weeks on end. And it's kind of like, I've even lost my sense of who I am, because I haven't gone out with friends. I haven't done this. Like, my most thing that I do every week at this minute is travel to Edinburgh once a week, and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that for me is that's been
Yeah.
my like commute. It's the work commute that I have to go do every week. But I've had a blast every time I've gone because I'm meeting people when I'm out. So I'm getting myself out of my zone, and
Of course.
I'm doing something different. Don't get me wrong, I caught up with friends at the weekend. It was great, went for a walk and things, but it was just like, you know, you've got to go immerse yourself, because if you're not immersing yourself, we're not going in a direction where we need. And we, you know,
No, absolutely
and
not.
I'm, you know, take anybody that's listening, take this from me, and this is my personal piece. One life is too short. If you do not get out there and go do something, you will miss it, and stuff will pass you by. I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in everything that is meant for you will never pass you by. Now, I know that sounds like a contradiction, but it's not, because if you're out there and you're going to do it and you want to be a part of something, then go be a part of it and go do it. If it's a running club, whatever it is, to get yourself in that mindset, to get your intimacy back, go run together, go to the gym together, go do this together, go do what makes you, exactly, go do what makes you happy together. Do it. You don't have to be in each other's pocket all the time, because we all know we need a little bit of space. That's guaranteed. You know, we all need 5 minutes to reflect, but just go have that, because time is not on your side. And no matter, you know, I say we live for today, not to tomorrow, because we need to. And, you know,
Of course.
Don't go to bed angry. Just fuck around. It's even better. Which is one of them. But yeah. I think we've covered that.
Good. I think so. No, listen.
I don't think there's a stone unturned this week with that, to be honest.
I'd like to find out what we've not talked about.
Yeah.
With intimacy, to be fair. I feel no. I think you're right. Of course, there could be an endless amount of things you could follow on with and talk about even more in that regard as well. You've probably concluded that quite nicely in that sense. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to make the change, try and make a smaller change, or just recognize it. Because I think, for anything else from my part, just make sure you're talking. Like, just make sure you're talking, and not via fucking WhatsApp. Like, make sure you're speaking to that person, and actually, you know, you're on a bit of a level par, and your head's both above water, because sometimes you may obviously both be in kind of different places, but just make sure that you're still talking. Like, it's so important. Like, and I'm speaking from experience, like 100%. It's massively, because amidst all the noise, like you said, amidst all the noise, because it's fucking noisy in my house as well. But amidst all that noise, you have to just make sure that you're just still, as much as you're connected, but you're still speaking, like, and that you still can both recognise that. So,
I wholeheartedly agree. I really do. And like, you know, I hope people do. I've got a lot of learned experience, and I've probably analysed all my relationships now, you know, past, present, everything, to see what the difference is now to what I want in the future. Because that's, you know, at some stage there will be somebody that I am with. That is 1000%. I've said that, like, you know, because I want to be happy with somebody 100%. I don't want to live 50 years alone through my lifetime. Definitely not.
Absolutely.
That's definitely not for me. I can hand on heart tell you that. But I wasn't going on my phone to be ignorant. I was going on to find my would you rather.
There he is.
Yeah.
He's not even fucking listening to me. Right.
Yeah.
Go on then,
So, right. Are you ready for these? Right. I've got a few. They fit in well, right?
Okay.
Right. I did this one on my socials the other week, right? But this fits in nicely here because some people might not have heard it, right? Okay. So, would you rather have your bedroom neighbours be able to hear everything, or you be able to hear everything from theirs?
Well, if there was an awareness of who's in the left and right of me where I live, then I would probably want. No, do you know? To be fair, I think it's more awkward hearing what everybody else is doing. I'd maybe just rather go, right, let's just hope that they can't hear what we're doing. But if you can, then I'll send happy days. take some notes if you want. Come and chat the door, but it's.
Take some notes. Give me some pointers.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you're talking. It's about 30 to 45 seconds of noise, and then that's it. Anyway. So that just before they were going to knock, they're like, "Oh, right, he's dead."
There's no need for the police knocking on the door after 3 hours now. 3 minutes. These guys on a new world record. Give them a round of applause, everybody. Get some cheering from next door.
I know. So yeah, I would say from that, I would say they can hear what we were doing. I'd rather that than me.
That was to be fair. That was my answer. I would rather everybody else hear me. And some of my direct messages I got off that were absolutely disturbing the other week. No, funny, but like disturbing. I'm not going to share it. Honestly, somebody said they'd get a weird something, and I was like, oh my god, I can't even. Right,
okay.
Yeah. Now, would you rather walk in on your parents or have them walking on you and nobody acknowledges it ever?
Oh my god! Because it's happened anyway in my life. It's happened.
It's happened. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I know what my answer is, but I want to hear yours first. I know where mine is.
It's just what you walk in on them and then it's never discussed again.
Mm-hmm.
It's never talked about. Yeah, probably that. Me walking in on my parents, and that's that.
I'd rather them walking on me, and I'd be just like, yep, okay, fair enough.
It's just more because like there's an immediate about turn, immediate, and you know, a bit write a few more pages in my fucking diary, and then, however, if it's just there's just no acknowledgement of it, then that's fine by me. But that would be my choice.
Do you know what
rather
I
than
think?
Them
I think that's got me more. Your facial expression's about turn, like literally like a fucking walking, marching straight back out, turn, rapid out the door. That's fucking got me.
Dear.
Oh, right.
It's because it's. And if my sister see this as well, it's because it's happened before, and we're all aware of this. But anyway, that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, I'd rather them be fucking walking in on me. But anyhow, which one do I do here? Oh, do you know what? Right, I did this on my social last week in the barbershop. Funny enough. So, would you rather moan accidentally in a quiet public place, or toot during a first kiss?
Toot.
Like toot, toot. Yeah, like beep beep. Oh, like, and I'm like,
what was the first one? Did you say run?
No. So would you rather moan like oh yeah, like oh yeah, right, accidentally in a quiet public place, or toot during a first kiss?
Oh my god, I'd fucking love to toot in that first kiss. That'd be so funny. Toot, 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 toot. Although, I mean, that's iconic, that noise, isn't it? It just it's so funny. I think I would be moaning in I'd be doing that in a public space.
Oh yeah, like that.
I'd probably give them a rude toot as well. Actually, after it, so just put the two and two together. Oh wow!
I said last week, I said I was going to toot, but I said like a foghorn. Like I want to be like a burr, or like a getting into the city train, burr, burr, like it's happened. Do you know what I mean? Like a victory, like woohoo! Get up there!
Oh Christ, yeah! Oh wow! That would be great, though. That would be great. Well, I mean, what a tick that would be. Oh, my God. Never mind a first kiss. Just every time you kiss. Christ almighty.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, fucking hell. But there you go. So there's some things to stick out your head this week. So,
I love it. I love it.
See, they've ended Magic. Right there. Well.
Yeah.
Right. Cool, guys. Well, that's near enough.
Might be finished.